Allah has sent me a vision. He has commanded me to take Constantinople. I have no choice but to obey his wish. I just woke from a dream. I saw my father, my ancestors, Osman. They showed me the road ahead. It led me to Constantinople. The gates of the city flew open. I walked straight to Hagia Sophia.
The city of Constantinople, modern Istanbul, was founded by Roman Emperor Constantine I, and it acted as the capital of Eastern Roman Empire or Byzantine Empire over 1200 years. City suffered many attacks, sieges, internal rebellions. Still, it was impregnable fort for everyone. But in 1453, it could not resist the mighty cannons of the Sultan Mehmed II. To conquer the city of Constantinople was a dream of Mehmed II and many others. Sitting on the throne of the Ottoman Empire, Sultan Mehmed II made peace agreement with European empires. He knew Constantinople was hard nut to crack till today for everyone, but Sultan learnt a lot to the mistakes of the former emperors of the Ottoman Empire. Now, the Sultan had to build such artilleries for the walls of the Constantinople so that the walls of the palace should be fixed on the earth. In this period, the young engineer from Hungary went to the Constantinople for the job of making cannons, and in exchange he demanded a lot of money. At that time, Constantine XI was the ruler of Constantinople, and at that time city was suffering economically. Saving the treasure of the empire was more important for the Constantine than saving the city. And Constantine XI do not see Mehmed II as a challenge, whereas when Mehmed II became Sultan, from Constantinople to France, celebration held, because they thought a weak Sultan has sat on the throne of such a big empire. But after some time, young engineer Urban went to the Ottoman Empire, leaving the Constantinople. He studied wall of Constantinople deeply before leaving. When he met Sultan Mehmed II, Sultan promised him to give 4 times more than money he demanded. So deal was done. Urban prepared 2 big furnaces and quickly began the work of making cannons. First, he made a cannon which was sent to Rumeli Hisar, a fort on the shores of the Bosphorus. After this, the Sultan ordered the engineer to make a super gun. Working hard, and after some months, Urban accomplished his work and made super gun for demolishing the wall of Constantinople. Then this cannon was brought out of the city to test. As soon as the cannon was fired, bang of cannon was heard for the miles. This testing was successful. The Sultan conveyed its news to Constantinople as well, for spreading fear among the hearts of his enemies. At the time of 1453, about 6 lakh people lived in the city of Constantinople. Sultan had many reasons to conquer this city, but Constantine XI had only one reason: to protect it. This great city was jewel and holy land of the Orthodox Christianity. Orthodox Christians used to pray turning towards the city of Constantinople. Constantine XI did not have a big army to protect the city. He had only 8 to 9,000 soldiers, and the Ottomans were the superpowers of their time. It seems that this is one-sided battle, but it's not true. This city was protected by strong walls from every side. Army of Constantine XI had to fight behind the walls, and they might get help from the Europe. 23rd March 1453, on Friday, Sultan Mehmed started his journey towards Constantinople. On 6 April, he reached before Constantinople. Now, such a war of history was going to start, for which the Muslims of the whole world were waiting for 700 years. It was the prediction of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Constantinople shall be surely conquered. How blessed the commander who will conquer it, how blessed his army. And this statement of Prophet Muhammad is written on the walls of Constantinople even today. The 4 kilometers long defense wall of Constantinople had 4 parts. Sultan Mehmed had deployed army around that wall. The middle part of the wall, called Lykes Valley, it was the most important. In fact, this was the part where the walls were the weakest. This part had gates on the both sides. The gate in front of the camp of the Sultan, called St. Romulus Gate, and the other one was Adrianople. The Sultan had deployed 50,000 soldiers against the wall of Lykes Valley in front of his camp. Among them, 12,000 were Janissaries. Janissaries was well trained and highly determined elite of Mehmed's army. Another 50,000 positions ahead of St. Romulus Gate. at the coast of Marmara. On the left of the Sultan from Adrianople Gate to the Golden Horn, around 1 lakh troops were there. The Turks' engineer had dug out a trench in front of the Ottoman army and 250 meters away from the city wall. This trench went through the whole defense wall of the Constantinople. The super gun was installed right in front of the Sultan's camp to easily target the weakest part of the wall. Emperor Constantine spread his total 9,000 troops to the 4-kilometer city wall to face the Ottomans. The Roman had only 15 cannons against 70 of the Ottomans. The city wall on the side sea of Marmara was less open to attack for the Ottomans. Therefore, some troops at a distance and few guns were installed there to serve only as a guard. Now it is the third wall on the Golden Horn of the city. This part is already been secured by a chain barrier to stop advancement of the Ottomans. Therefore, no deployment was made on that side. After ground positions, let's also see the naval positions of the both armies. From 140 to 180 ships of the Ottomans were patrolling from the Sea of Marmara to the Strait of Bosphorus. The Ottoman ships were unable to enter the Golden Horn due to this chain. Up to 30 ships were included in the Constantinople fleet that was stationed safe at the coast of the Golden Horn. It was the test time for the Romans to save the religious legacy of their ancestors. On the night of April 12, 1453, Sultan Mehmed came to the site where the super gun was fitted, and some moment after, the gun fired the first cannonball that rocked the walls of Constantinople city. Along with the guns, heavy stones were pelted inside the city. The Roman army, deployed on the walls, also decided to fire guns to counter the Ottomans' attack. Romans did not have expert gun operators as well as quality explosive for their cannons. Despite all that, the Romans had to defend the city anyway. For that, they tried to strengthen the city walls by pouring down a mixture of bricks and charcoal on it. But these methods were not working against the advanced and heavy gunfire of the Ottomans. After a week, these cannonballs pulled down a large part of the outer wall. But here the Ottomans faced a problem. The super gun of the Ottomans was fast getting cold after fire, whereof its barrel developed cracks, and to protect the barrel against crack, the super gun was fired only 7 times a day due to this problem. Somewhat the same problem was with other cannons also. So the problem repeatedly interrupted firing of the guns, and this time gap in firing was a big blessing for the people of the Constantinople. In the interval, thousands of Romans joined to get the wall repaired. They repaired the broken wall on the side of St. Romulus Gate on April 18. The Ottomans tried to enter the city, breaking weak spot on the wall, but the rain made this muddy part of the wall slippery. Moreover, the Romans were also shooting arrows, rocks and bullets on the Ottomans to check their way. So the Ottomans were to draw back. As many as 200 Ottoman soldiers lost their life in this attack. And the center of the all hopes of the Sultan, the super gun exploded. The gun engineer Orban was also killed in this incident. This was major loss to the Ottomans. They did not have time to prepare new super gun. So the solution was found in repairing. This method temporarily worked, and after some fires, the gun broke down again. The Sultan was highly angered, but it was quite useless against the broken barrel of the gun. Sultan started brainstorming with his companions, but hold on, another super shock was yet in the waiting. The Sultan had peace and trade agreements with European powers, including Hungary and Venice. But Hungary broke the peace agreements all of a sudden. Now Hungary was no more neutral. At that time, Hungary was the major European power. On the other hand, another European state, Geneva, also asked its citizens to help Constantinople. These incidents pressed the Sultan to conquer the city as early as possible or go back to save his sultanate. But surprisingly, in the meantime, the Ottoman received enormous help from an enemy. The Hungarian ambassador who came to annul the agreement gave a very useful information to the Sultan. He said repeatedly firing the same point on the wall is useless. He suggested for firing the city wall in a triangle in 3 shots to loosen its strength. So Ottomans followed this method. At the same time, marine battle also picked up momentum along with encounter on the ground under the command of Admiral Salman. The Turkish fleet launched the first attack on the Golden Horn. The Ottoman first hit the ships deputed to guard the chain and then tried to capture them. But the Constantinople ships were much huge in size. The Ottomans shelling failed to cast any significant effect on the Roman ships. 2 days later, 3 ships from Geneva confronted the Ottoman fleet at the Sea of Marmara. These ships were sent by Pope Nicholas V. These ships were carrying troops, arms for Constantinople. Sultan Mehmed at that moment was present 2 miles away from the coast. He took horse and rushed to the coast as soon as he heard about the rival ships. He strictly ordered commander of his fleet to capture these ships or do not come before him alive. The Sultan was so passionate, he repeatedly drove his horse into the water. He was boosting up morale of his soldiers by speaking loudly, but the same problem erupted once again. The rival ships was much larger than the Ottomans in size. The bombardment and the rain of the arrows were not affecting them at all. After 3 hours fight and suffering a heavy loss, the Ottoman fleet was forced to draw back. The Romans temporarily removed the chain at the Golden Horn. To let these ships enter Constantinople, time was most important weapon with the Romans. So aid from Geneva helped them a lot. Now, Constantinople had got the capacity to face the Ottomans for a longer time. Now, it was necessary for the Ottoman fleet to reach the Golden Horn if they had to win the battle. Sultan Mehmed had very deeply studied the war history. He knew many historical occasions when the ships were dragged along the ground track. Sultan Saladin Ayyubi had done all that only 250 years ago. Saladin had set precedent by shifting the boats from the Nile to the Red Sea, dragging them on the ground. According to history, the Romans had also practiced this method. Sultan also decided to put his ships into the Golden Horn, carrying them through the land. He constructed 1.5 miles long wooden track from Galata to Golden Horn. Lubricated with animal fats were put on the road. Pulleys were used to lift the small ships from the sea like a crane, and they were put on the wheels. Hundreds of oxen and men pulled these ships and put them into the Golden Horn by passing the chain. Constantinople had lost the strong support. It was hue and cry all over the Constantinople after the Ottoman ships crossed the Golden Horn. Hundreds of Roman soldiers and archers were sent to the Golden Horn from the western wall of the city. This transportation of the force further weakened the already weak defense on the western side. Constantinople guards saw the safety of the city in removing the Ottoman fleet from the Golden Horn. With this aim, 5 large ships and vessels of the Constantinople attacked the Ottoman fleet on April 28. The Roman tried to burn the Ottoman ships from Greek fire, but this attack failed. The Roman had one of their vessels totally destroyed, while other unworkable. The intense marine battle also stepped up fight on the ground. The Ottomans had made 2 major attacks on the wall of the city, but still it was not possible for the Ottomans to scale the wall. The Ottomans also used the tall wooden towers to take the troops to the wall, but it also failed. The Romans burned these towers with Greek fire. Moreover, the Romans released water to the ditches the Ottomans had dug. It means another loss to the Ottomans. A ship from Venice was also coming to the Constantinople. The ship reached Constantinople on May 30 and changed the whole complexion of the war. This ship, in fact, had to come to the Constantinople to tell the emperor about no assistance to him from Europe. The Ottomans and the Europeans had no more agreements, so the Romans took it a help from Hungary. The Ottomans heard that the Crusade army led by the Hungarian general had reached there. The Crusade army is going to target the Ottoman capital Adrian. The Turks thought the ship from Venice is a part of Crusade army. This rumor was enough to get sleepless night to the Ottomans. Holding siege of the city, the head of different troops who had Ottoman army also became despondent on the rumor. The Sultan handled this situation like a great leader. To boost the morals of his army, he gathered all his ministers and commanders and gave powerful speech and boosted morale of his army. And his gesture conveyed them that the conquest of the city was not far off now.
Might, holy warriors and the heirs of Osman, a new age is coming. Allah will be with every one of us, and it begins tonight, and we will take the city. Allahu Akbar.
So Sultan and his advisors decided to make a last powerful attack on the city. They decided to lift the siege in case the Ottomans failed to conquer the city. Sultan Mehmed used psychological trick before launching the last attack on May 26, 1453. He ordered his soldiers to have big campfire every night. He also wanted his soldiers to beat the drums and chant loud slogans. As the campfire was alighted first night, army band was played to such a loud sound that it scared the Roman guards in Constantinople. This practice was maintained for 3 nights. Some Christian soldiers in Turkish army secretly warned the Romans of the imminent attack. They shot arrows to the Constantinople on which messages were wrapped to forewarn the Romans. The messages conveyed the Romans about the decisive attack on them. From 26 to 28 May, the Ottomans carried out bombardments on the city wall. Besides super gun, other cannons also fired shells that tore the wall to pieces at many places. The Sultan remained among his soldiers during these 3 days. He pronounced rewards for the bravery and punishment for the timidity of his soldiers. On May 28, all Muslims in the army fasted and spent time in worshipping to seek divine help. The priest also held a procession in Constantinople carrying the cross and the holy relics. The priest also met the guards at the city wall and predicted their victory. By that time, Ottomans had fired 5,000 shells on the wall of Constantinople. The countdown of war began, but the Ottomans got a bad news, that of a heavy rain. The Sultan ordered his army and fleet to make a powerful attack on the city at a time. But in fact, this all was a showpiece in order to distance the mind of Constantinople guards. The Ottomans were to actually attack the center of the western wall that had mostly been demolished. It was St. Romola's Gate, that was fenced actually only by a heap of clay and rocks. The Sultan was standing nearby St. Romola's Gate. After midnight, Sultan Mehmed ordered his organized army to attack this wall. Thousands of Ottomans crossed the trench and attacked the weakly fenced wall. The Romans bravely fought to defend the wall. Under the command of Giustiniani, they attacked the Ottomans with rocks, Greek fires and arrows and killed a number of them. A heavy battle continued for 2 hours. The Sultan had deployed military police behind these soldiers and the Janissaries behind all of them. These unorganized Ottoman troops fought to the last, taking every risk. After 2 hours of pitched battle, when the city guards had also completely exhausted, the Sultan withdrew the irregular army and ordered the fresh Anatolian infantry to attack. The Anatolian infantry was confronted by a rain of arrows and rocks. The Roman guards also opened fires from the small cannons. Hundreds of the infantry soldiers lost their lives. Now, the Sultan had no option except to retaliate the Roman guards with cannon fires. Although fires from the Ottoman guns might also put lives of the Turk soldiers in the battlefield. But Sultan Mehmed was compelled to take the risk, so he ordered his artillery to launch forceful offensive on the fenced wall. Now an intense bombardment on the fence had begun. This strategy worked. A big shell torn a part of a major part of the fence. This created a way to 300 Ottoman infantrymen to enter the city. But the Roman guards were also at a high alert. They did not allow 300 Ottoman soldiers to advance much to take more ground. Here the deadly battle continued for 2 hours. During the fight, the Ottoman infantry failed to achieve success. Sultan also called infantry back. At around 5:30 in the morning, the Ottoman army had become highly exhausted in these attacks. Now the Sultan had left with only 12,000 Janissaries and 5,000 other soldiers. The Sultan had 17,000 fresh troops. Sultan did not want to give respite to the Roman guards, so he ordered the last section of his army to attack the Romans immediately. The Sultan was mindful that his order of attack to the last part of his army was a big gamble he had played. The Janissaries were leading the final attack. They made very forceful attack on the Romans. But the Roman guards, despite tired, faced the Janissaries bravely. The historic war was on its peak when the Ottomans received an unexpected success. That was a secret door called Circus Door. In the basement of the western wall of the city, the Roman guards used this door to conduct raids on the Ottoman camps. On May 28th, the Roman soldiers forgot to shut this door. After conducting raids on Turkish camps, a Turkish soldier saw the open door. Then 50 Turk soldiers went up the city wall through this door and raised the Ottoman flag, tearing the Romans. Commander of the Western Wall, Giustiniani, was seriously injured. Due to deep wounds, he was not able to lead to the Roman army. The condition of Giustiniani was so serious, the Emperor Constantine asked him to flee through secret door. As soon as when some soldiers carried the commander Giustiniani to the door, hundreds of the Roman soldiers followed him. It left the wall undefended. At the same time, Janissary Aga Hassan mounted the fence along with the 30 others and raised the Ottoman flags. Although Hassan and 30 others laid down their life, yet they succeeded in showing the Turk soldiers and the Romans the Ottoman's flag raised on the wall. It was early morning of May 29 when the Ottomans had conquered Constantinople. After 1,000 years, Janissaries had entered the city. Within 10 minutes, 30,000 soldiers had reached in the internal wall and were opening the doors to the city. The city guards were running for the safety of their life. Constantine XI had killed. In this battle, the 700-year-long wait of the Ottoman was over. In afternoon, Mehmed entered the city himself, called an end to the pillaging and declared that the Hagia Sophia church be converted into a mosque. It was a powerful statement that the city's role as a bastion of Christianity for 12 centuries was now over. Constantinople was made the new Ottoman capital. The massive golden gate of the Odosian walls was made part of the castle treasury of Mehmed, while the Christian community was permitted to survive. Guided by the Bishop Gennadius II, what was left of the old Byzantine Empire was absorbed into the Ottoman territory. Meanwhile, Mehmed, aged only 21, now known as the Conqueror, settled in for a long region and another 28 years as Sultan. So if you want to watch more content like this, please subscribe our channel. Thanks for watching.